Nobody saw this coming. Not Drake, not his fans, not even Kendrick's own crew. But when Kendrick Lamar stepped onto the stage of his record-breaking, sold-out stadium, Turtha energy shifted. Not just in the venue, not just in the city, but everywhere. The earth shook, Twitter exploded, and the internet melted. Because Kendrick didn't just perform, he declared war in the middle of a flawless set. After dropping hit after hit, Kendrick paused. The lights dimmed. The screen behind him lit up in blood red. Then he said one sentence. Just one. This is for the snake that hides behind charts. The crowd gasped. Phones flew into the air. And within seconds, #Drake'sOverParty was trending in 42 countries. What followed was an orchestrated lyrical ambush. A performance laced with subliminal messages, twisted bars, unreleased verses and direct jabs that left no doubt who the target was. Drake sources backstage say Kendrick's team rehearsed this specific section for days. Industry insiders say this was a warning. Fans, they're calling it the night Drake's crown got ripped off. But what really happened that night? What was said? And why does everyone believe this was Kendrick Lamar's final warning? Stay locked in, because everything's about to unravel. It didn't start with a diss track. It didn't start with a beef. It started with silence. Deafening, calculated silence. For years, Kendrick Lamar and Drake coexisted in hip-hop's upper atmosphere like rival gods, each orbiting the throne. Drake Canada's golden boy, streaming king, chartbreaker. Kendrick the Compton poet, Pulitzer Prize winner, lyrical assassin. Both too big to ignore, but too dangerous to confront directly. Until now, their tension wasn't born overnight. It was brewed over a decade of smirks and interviews, verses that cut deeper than fans realized, and collaborations that felt like landmines. Remember the 2013 Bet Cypher? Kendrick dropped. And nothing's been the same since they dropped control and tucked a sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. The crowd laughed. Blogs speculated. Drake played it cool, but behind the scenes, people say he was furious. That line was no accident. And neither were the next 10 years of passive-aggressive jabs dressed in hit singles, award speeches, and subtle Lil 2L Instagram captions. These two weren't just rivals. They were two men waging a silent war, each pretending the other didn't matter while secretly strategizing their tea. They were regreased, strategizing their next strike. But silence can only last so long. And then, 2023 hit, Drake dropped For All the Dogs, a massive commercial success that many believed was a preemptive strike. Critics whispered that certain tracks contained bars aimed squarely at Kendrick, camouflaged beneath melodic hooks. Fans pointed to lines like, "You talk conscious, but I'm the one waking you up, Kendrick." He didn't respond, not in interviews, not on social media, not even through music. He vanished. But insiders say that's when the planning began. Kendrick's team, known for being tight-lipped and meticulously strategic, was reportedly working behind the scenes, crafting something bigger than just a track. Something undeniable. A moment that wouldn't just respond to Drake, it would dismantle the myth of invincibility surrounding him. Enter the Untitled Tour. At first, no one knew what to make of it. No album announced. No lead single. Just a cryptic black and white flyer posted to Kendrick's Instagram with the caption, "A message needs no introduction." Within 48 hours, the entire tour sold out. No press, no features, no warning, just Kendrick. And that's when the fear began to spread through the industry. Rumors began swirling. Leaked rehearsal footage. Unreleased bars with venomous undertones. Record label insiders whispering he's not playing this time. But no one expected him to use the tour as a platform to issue a global message. A live threat. A public dismantling of Drake's entire persona broadcast to millions and planted into history. According to backstage insiders, Kendrick's camp had scouted this specific venue for months. They wanted the acoustics, the lighting, the camera angles to be perfect. Because this wasn't just a concert. It was a statement. This was going to be the night Kendrick spoke without filters. The night he cut the leash, burned the olive branch, and let the world know, I see you. I hear you. And I'm not afraid of you anymore. Longtime fans noticed that Kendrick's energy in the days leading up to the show felt different. He was smiling less, doing fewer interviews. Even Top Dog Entertainment, his former label, started scrubbing past promotional material, perhaps aware something massive was coming that would shift public perception forever. And Drake. He had stayed silent, confident, unbothered, until the night of the show, because the moment Kendrick stood in front of a roaring sea of fans, the moment those screens turned blood red, and he delivered that line, "This is for the snake that hides behind charts." Everything changed, and that wasn't the end. It was just the opening shot. So how did Kendrick weaponize his own concert into a battlefield? What exactly was performed, said, and leaked that has the internet on fire? Fans crying, and insiders whispering that Drake's reign might be crumbling. What comes next is a moment-by-moment breakdown of the night that shook hip-hop, and trust me, it only gets wilder from here. The night began like any other legendary show. A sold-out stadium vibrating with 90,000 Kendrick fans. Hearts thudding, camera lights flickering like stars across a black ocean of bodies. But no one, not even the most die-hard Day One South, could have predicted what Kendrick Lamar was about to unleash. The opening 30 minutes were pristine. A masterclass. Kendrick flowed from DNA into Element, into All Right, each song sending the crowd deeper into spiritual frenzy. But when the beat for the heart part, 6 inches, an unreleased track nobody had ever heard before, dropped out of nowhere, the entire mood changed. A single spotlight hit Kendrick. No beat. Just strings. Then he said it, slow and cold. This one. This one's for the boy who thinks God's Canadian. The crowd froze. Then he dropped the verse that broke the night wide open. I see your mansion, I see your chart stats. I see your name get worshipped like it's facts per. But I see no soul, no scars, no raps, just filters, implants, and 40 ghost tracks. Boom! People lost their minds. Fans screamed. Some laughed. Some gasped. Thousands of phones shot in the air to catch what they knew was already historic. Twitter was melting in real time. Hashtag snake emoji was everywhere. Even Drake's closest fan accounts paused mid-post, unsure how to defend him. But Kendrick wasn't done. The music cut out. The screens behind him lit up with an animated snake slithering up a golden tower, wrapping around a mic stand. Clearly symbolic. And in that moment, Kendrick leaned in, nearly whispering, "The kingdom you built on playlists. I'm here to pull the plug." And then the beat dropped. A devastating new version of King Kunta blast. The Drake diss never came. Instead, fans noticed something vanish within hours of Kendrick's concert ending. Several tracks from Drake's catalog, particularly from Scorpion and For All the Dogs, mysteriously vanished from multiple Molecto Spotify regions. Not all, just a few. Enough to raise eyebrows. People speculated, was Drake preemptively pulling tracks that Kendrick might target? Then another insider bombshell hit. A TikTok user claimed to have worked backstage at the venue and leaked a snippet of a private confrontation between Kendrick's team and a Canadian label. Rep. The grainy audio picked up a single voice yelling, "If you drop that song, we drop the documents." Wait, what? The internet exploded. What documents? What song? Is this blackmail? Are both sides sitting on unreleased nukes? People suddenly weren't just wondering who was winning. They were wondering, is this deeper than music now? Is something criminal about to leak? And just when the questions started spiraling, Kendrick returned for his encore. He performed Humble. But he changed the lyrics. One line in particular sent chills through the crowd. My left stroke just went viral. My right stroke just killed your idol. He paused, looked dead into the camera, then added, I told you I'd be silent until it mattered. Mic drop. Show over no merch. No encore speech. No thank you message, just silence. And then Twitter exploded again. Instagram lives from fans crying, TikTokers posting breakdowns of every line, Redditors dissecting the symbolism of the snake, and YouTube reactors already calling it the most savage live diss in hip-hop history. But is that where it ends? Not even close. Because something else leaked that same night, something that reframes everything Kendrick just did. And once you hear it, you'll realize this wasn't just a diss. It was a warning shot. And the next move could ruin everything, as the final bass dropped from Humble, echoed through the stadium walls, and Kendrick disappeared into the darkness. The internet was already deep into full-blown breakdown mode. Reaction videos flooded TikTok. Rap Twitter morphed into a war zone. Reddit threads ran like crime investigations, dissecting every lyric, every color on stage, even the fonts used on the screen. But then it happened. The leak at exactly 1:47 a.m. A now suspended Twitter account posted what looked like screenshots of DMS, allegedly exchanged between Drake and someone labeled LVRNA and R. The messages weren't long, but they were devastating. Drake, he's playing with fire. If that reference track drops, it's not just beef anymore. It's war, LVRNA and R. You told me it was buried. Drake, I thought it was. He's bluffing, unless someone flipped. Wait, reference track. Flipped? Kendrick has a reference track from inside OVO. That's when the entire narrative flipped upside down. Within minutes, reference track trended worldwide. YouTubers began posting reaction videos with wild titles like, Drake caught red-handed. Kendrick might have his demo tracks. OVO leaker confirmed. Who flipped on Drake? The file exists. What Kendrick has could end careers, and just as people started asking what Kendrick might be sitting on, a new tweet hit from an account claiming to be a former engineer at Soda Studios. The tweet simply read, We recorded The Heart Part 6 in the same room where your favorite rapper's ghostwriter once cried. The tweet was deleted within 60 seconds, but 60 seconds was long enough for fans to start pulling past footage, old writing credits, and even audio stems from songs Drake had released years ago, hoping to find proof that Kendrick's team was armed with more than just bars. Suddenly, this wasn't about a diss anymore. It was about exposure, and the industry started shaking by sunrise. Whispers were flying across Discord groups and closed WhatsApp chats. A small but verified account posted a message that sent the fandom into full paranoia. Interscope has begun investigating NDAs breached in 2019. Major producer reportedly compromised. This isn't a diss war. This is chess. Chess. And in this game, Kendrick had just cornered the king. Here's where the second twist comes in. Around noon the next day, a private recording surfaced on a Discord server uploaded by a faceless user. It was audio of Kendrick speaking candidly to someone during rehearsal, likely unaware he was being recorded. You can hear his voice say, I don't want to end him. I want him to feel the weight of pretending. That single line sent fans into a spiral. What does that mean? Is Kendrick deliberately slow-burning Drake's image? Is this revenge for years of fake smiles and award snubs? But then came the biggest reveal of all, one that dragged someone else into the fire. Rick Rubin, yes. The legendary producer. A now viral screenshot appeared on Instagram. Stories from a verified account tied to a TDE affiliate. The post was a photo of Kendrick and Rick Rubin in the studio, with a whiteboard in the background listing tracks, dates, and one line scrawled in red ink. Exposed, reference from 2016. Confirmed Voice ID. The internet lost it, because if Kendrick truly had a confirmed Voice ID of a ghostwriter track from years ago, the implications were catastrophic, not just for Drake's brand, but for his entire discography, Grammy wins, and legacy. Suddenly, every tweet Drake had ever posted about being the greatest, every record broken, every streaming milestone, they all felt like they were under review. Fans on both sides were in chaos. Team Kendrick flooded TikTok with posts like, "He's not just rapping. He's deconstructing a myth." Team Drake, meanwhile, tried damage control. No proof, just performance art. Kendrick's manipulating perception. But then, just when the dust started to settle, Drake responded, not with a song, not with a tweet, but with a caption. On his IG story, Drake posted a black square. No music, no visuals. Just one line in white font. "Careful what you dig up. You might find your own grave." Boom, the internet detonated. Now people were asking, is Drake threatening to expose Kendrick next? Does he have dirt? Was that a reference to Kendrick's early Top Dog days? Could he be sitting on something worse? Suddenly, it wasn't clear who had the upper hand. But then, one more shocking moment turned everything inside out. That night, a clip leaked reportedly from Kendrick's production team's group chat of a scrapped stage visual that was meant to play during the Heart Part 6 Inches performance. It showed a computer screen simulating a Spotify back-end dashboard, with a filter applied that slowly peeled back names from credits. At the end of the visual, the final message read, "If I wanted to, I could show you who really wrote the 6." The screen then faded to black dot. People are now speculating. Was Kendrick going to expose specific ghostwriters live on stage, but held back? Was this mercy? Or was this part of something much bigger brewing behind the scenes? Because Kendrick didn't drop a diss. He dropped a signal, and what's coming next could be career-ending. By the morning after Kendrick Lamar's explosive performance, the rap world wasn't just watching, it was splintering. Twitter was a battlefield. TikTok was an autopsy room. Instagram, a graveyard of broken alliances, and YouTube, flooded with headlines like, "Kendrick just erased Drake's legacy live." "Drake might be DONE, no one's backing him." Why rappers are scared to speak right now. But let's rewind and look at how the chaos unfolded in real time. Within 24 hours, the hashtag Drake Exposed racked up 88 million mentions, while hashtag Kendrick the Reaper trended at #1 in over 50 countries. People weren't just reacting, they were declaring war in the comments. Rihanna unfollowed Drake on Instagram that morning. That's right, the same Rihanna, who once collaborated with both artists and had a very public, very messy off-and-on friendship with Drake, quietly clicked unfollow while liking a cryptic tweet that read, "Real, recognize real, and fake, get filtered." Fans went nuts. Rihanna choosing sides. Then, J. Cole, the one person everyone hoped would stay neutral, posted a black and white photo of himself and Kendrick from the 2015 Black. But it didn't stop there. Eminem posted a rare tweet that simply said, "Bars, facts, spine. That's the art." Fans instantly linked it to Kendrick. Why? Because Eminem once called Drake to commercial to understand the war of words. Was this a subtle cosign? SZA, Kendrick's TDE sister, dropped a story showing a snake emoji slithering into a trash can. No words, just the image. Fans lost their minds, and then came the interview that split the internet in half. DJ Acanix, known for riding hard for Drake, went on Twitch and said this live. "Listen, I love Drake's music. But Kendrick ain't playing with him. This ain't a rap battle. This is a character funeral. If he's got proof, it's over. Ain't no hit song saving that." His own chat turned on him. Screenshots flew. Reactions dropped. Even Ovu stan pages began questioning things. But while artists were choosing sides, the industry was watching nervously. Spotify's Rap Caviar playlist, which had Drake on its cover for months, suddenly swapped him out for a quote. Months suddenly swapped him out for a throwback Kendrick photo from 2017. Fans noticed, screenshotted, reposted. Apple Music quietly pushed Damn, I Mr. Morale back to the top of its hip-hop essentials carousel. Title: Kendrick bannered the homepage. Amazon Music promoted his tour footage. Meanwhile, Drake's media team went silent. No IG posts, no promo, no denial, no response, and that silence. It started to feel like fear. Then came the talk shows. Stephen Colbert did a segment titled Rap Royalty Revolt and ended by saying, "Kendrick Lamar didn't just shake the table. He burned it, danced on the ashes, and left a note for Drake that says, 'Your move.'" Jimmy Kimmel joked, "This might be the first time Drake's been ghosted by his own ghostwriter." Snell posted a fake promo teasing a skit titled Certified Ghostwriter. Boy fans were split between laughing and cringing. And here's where it got. Dark Hot 97's Abro went live on air and said, "There's a rumor that one of Drake's own producers is shopping around unreleased Kendrick verses recorded years ago. If that's true, this ain't a diss war. It's checkmate." This set off a new firestorm. Fans began digging into Drake's longtime collaborators. Was someone flipping? Was there a mole? Or worse, was Kendrick's silence over the years just him gathering intel? And just when people thought it couldn't get more volatile, a mysterious page posted a clip of Rick Ross walking out of an Atlanta studio. When asked if he'd heard Kendrick's live diss, Ross smiled, shook his head, and said, "Drake, better call security. Not for the streets, for the truth." Oh my God. Fans screamed. Drake fans scrambled. Kendrick fans partied. Neutral fans just watched with popcorn. But the damage was clear. Drake was losing the public battle. Badly petitions started surfacing to pull his Grammy wins under original performance categories. Subreddits lit up with ghostwriter theory breakdowns. Music scholars started writing Medium articles about the illusion of authenticity in Drake's catalog. And fans, they began turning their favorite Kendrick lyrics into weaponized memes. "Sit down. Be humble." Now used under every Drake post. "Chi, where were you when I was walking?" Reposted with Drake's old Degrassi photos. "I remember syrup sandwiches." Photoshopped over Drake's OVO brunch menu. Even Drake's merch sales dipped that week. Meanwhile, Kendrick's tour sold out in 5 additional cities overnight. But the most haunting reaction came from Lupe Fiasco. He tweeted a single sentence, "I warned y'all about the empire of mirrors." Was that about Drake? Was he confirming ghostwriters? Or just watching the fallout? Either way, the public was watching. The industry was reacting. And the silence from Drake's camp. It was starting to sound like surrender, but just when fans thought they'd seen the worst of it. One more bombshell drops, and this one could ruin more than just Drake's reputation, as fans were still reeling from the media meltdown. The celebrity unfollows, and the music industry's eerie shift away from Drake. One thing was clear. Kendrick Lamar had sent a massive, calculated warning. But what no one expected was what came next. At 3:12 a.m., a low-profile YouTube channel called Industry Grid Leaks posted a video titled, "This was never about bars. This was about business." In the 17-minute upload now removed, but already screen-recorded across the internet, an anonymous voice breaks down a series of alleged internal documents that claim Drake's label. OVO Sound had recently secured a quiet distribution deal with BlackRock, the same investment firm currently exploring control over multiple artist catalogs and tours. Assets Kendrick's tour streaming rights were allegedly rejected by the same firm 6 months prior. The voice calmly states, Kendrick didn't just want to outperform Drake, he wanted to expose the machine behind him. And then it hits you. This wasn't just a personal war. It was a war against the system. But wait, it gets wilder. The video goes on to claim that a secret documentary, codenamed Mirror World, has been in the works for over a year. Shot in silence, backed by an indie film company connected to Dave Free and PG Lang. This film allegedly contains behind-the-scenes footage of Kendrick preparing for the tour, interviews with ex-OVO employees, and even blurred testimonies about forged credits and bought bars. The film's tagline, "If the king was crowned by ghosts, what does that make the kingdom?" Twitter, Reddit, TikTok, everyone erupted. Mirror World film began trending globally. Suddenly, fans weren't just asking about diss tracks. They were asking, is Kendrick about to drop a documentary that kills Drake's credibility on camera? Was this whole warning concert a trailer for something bigger? Is Kendrick launching a full expose on the industry itself? And then, as if the chaos wasn't enough, Kanye West chimed in. On Truth Social of all places, he posted, "Told y'all. They build stars like they build buildings. Blueprints, not blood." Respect to Kendrick for swinging the wrecking ball. What was the confirming the theory? Did he know something? Is he involved in the documentary too? Now fans are speculating that this is all part of a larger coordinated takedown Kendrick, Kanye, and others, a war not just on Drake, but on corporate-controlled hip-hop. But there's one final twist, and it changes everything. Because 48 hours after the video leak, Kendrick's tour website updated, no announcement, no tweet, no interview, just a glitchy homepage featuring a slow-loading audio clip with heavy distortion when reversed and cleaned up. Audio experts confirmed it's Kendrick's voice, quietly saying, "This ain't about him. It's about all of them. They thought I'd rap. I'm here to record history." Then the site went black. No links, no tickets, just a countdown timer. And it ends in exactly 9 days. What's coming? A film, a secret album, the full expose, or the fall of an empire. Fans are calling it the 9-day siege. Journalists are calling it the hip-hop reckoning, and Drake, still silent. Because whatever's coming next isn't just going to shake hip-hop, it's going to reshape the entire game. And the last thing Kendrick said on stage that night, "They made me the villain for telling the truth. So now I'll play the part." And there you have it. A stadium, a microphone, and a message so loud it echoed across the entire world of hip-hop, not just as a diss, but as a declaration. Kendrick Lamar didn't just come for Drake, he came for the blueprint. He came for the system. He came for truth. But now we turn to you. Do you believe Kendrick just sent the biggest warning shot in modern rap history? Was this really about Drake? Or was Drake just the symbol of a much deeper war? And what about the rumored documentary Mirror World? If that film exists, and it drops with the kind of evidence people are whispering about, could this mean Drake's entire catalog, the hits, the awards, the legacy, was built on a lie? Or is this Kendrick playing with perception? Is he building an illusion so powerful, even the fans can't tell what's real? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is Drake done? Should he clap back? Or stay silent? Will Kendrick release the proof? Are other rappers next? Sound off below. We're reading every single comment. And listen, this is just part one of what might be the biggest war hip-hop has ever seen. Because in exactly 9 days, something's coming. And when that countdown hits 0, the world might witness the final dismantling of one of music's most untouchable icons. So make sure you're subscribed, turn on notifications, and buckle up, because the next episode changes everything. Everything.